So very good evening to all of you. We had a discussion over general geography, and in the last class we discussed about the rotation and revolution, seasonal variation, etc. And we also discussed about moon, eclipse and all that. So we have covered this. Rotation and revolution is done. What are the impact of rotation and revolution? We have covered it. Okay, let's begin today's class. Is there any query related with previous topic you can ask? कोई सवाल हो आपके मन में पूछने के लिए तो पूछ सकते हैं. No question. Okay, few classes still required to cover the general geography. And today we are going to discuss about latitude, longitude, time zone, time calculation, etc. There is a need to cover it, or you have the understanding of time zone, latitude, longitude? क्या कहते हैं? I think we should cover it, ना? बोल नहीं रहे आज, आप लोग नाराज हैं क्या?
सर क्विकली कवर कर लेते हैं.
सब कुछ कवर करना है.
क्विकली कर लेते हैं, सब कुछ नहीं.
अच्छा, क्विकली कर लेते हैं. चलिए आइए क्विकली कर लेते हैं. हाँ, मतलब ये जनरल ज्योग्राफी वाले टॉपिक हैं जो जीएस में भी आप पढ़ते हैं, लेकिन हाँ ठीक है, ये रिक्वायरमेंट बनी रहती है ऑप्शनल में. कुछ फिलर मटेरियल होते हैं ऑप्शनल के. सो टुडे वी आर इंटेंडेड टू लर्न अबाउट लैटिट्यूड. शेयर किया कि नहीं? बोर्ड शेयर हो चुका है?
यस सर.
ओके,
यस सर.
सो शुरू किया जाए. सभी लोग आ गए? लैटिट्यूड एंड लॉन्गिट्यूड. लॉन्गिट्यूड, local time, standard time, time and time calculation, time zone, etc. So let's take up latitude. Both latitude and longitude, they are the imaginary line that has been drawn on the Earth's surface. So this latitude is drawn on the Earth's surface. And how it was drawn? The first line that we call equator, it was drawn on the Earth's surface. The point on the Earth's surface that is making 0-degree angle, 0-degree angle with respect to the center of the Earth. Center of the Earth. So all the point which is making 0-degree angle with the center of Earth, if you join all those points, it is going to create a greatest circle which is called as equator. Equator. That we also refer to 0-degree, and it is the largest circle. The largest circle that can be drawn, on the Earth. On the Earth. So equator is the largest circle that can be drawn on the Earth, and each point at equator is actually representing 0-degree angle with respect to center of the Earth. Fine. And it divides the Earth into two hemispheres, the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Northern hemisphere is also called as land hemisphere. Land hemisphere, as it contains 90% of the land area. It is in northern hemisphere. While in southern hemisphere, only 10% land area is situated. Most of southern hemisphere is water. Okay. And who is going to divide this? It is the imaginary line, which is equator drawn from west to east. And each point at equator is representing 0-degree angle with respect to the center of the earth. And this is the largest circle that we can draw on the earth's surface. That's why it is called as great circle. Great circle. And the point on the earth's surface which is making 0-degree angle, which is making 90-degree angle with the center of the earth, is representing pole. In northern hemisphere, it is North Pole. In southern hemisphere, it is South Pole. It's a point on the globe or on the earth. And then what happened? Between 0 to 90-degree, the entire hemisphere is divided in equal part of 1 degree. So if you draw another meridian, this parallel of latitude, so there is 0-degree, that is obviously equator, and then on each degree we are going to draw the line, and this is how the parallel of latitudes were drawn from west to east. As we move towards pole is represented by a point. Around the pole, we have this latitude, which is actually creating a circle around the circle. And the greatest circle is what? Drawn by equator. So these are the circle created by each parallel of latitude. Each parallel of latitude. As you see, at equator, you have the largest circle. And as you move towards the pole, this circle is getting smaller and smaller. And ultimately, on the pole, it is represented by point only. So between 0 to 90-degree, there are 89 parallel of latitude. If you count the latitudes on globe, so 89 parallel of latitude in northern hemisphere, 89 parallel of latitude in southern hemisphere also. And equator remain there. So there is one, equator 1. And so how many parallel of latitude are there on the globe or on the earth? The answer is 179. Why there is 89 only? Because the 90-degree north and 90-degree south is represented by point only. It's not a line or not a circle, rather it is a point. But once you open this globe in form of map, so in that case, the 90-degree is also represented by a point. Oh, sorry, a line. So this 90-degree is also expanded like this. On the map, this 90-degree will also be expanded. So on the map, we happen to have 90-degree north. Then we have equator. And we have 90-degree south. And then there are 89 parallel of latitude in northern hemisphere and 89 parallel of latitude in southern hemisphere. So what will be the number? 179 plus 2. There will be 181 parallel of latitude on the map. So if you count this imaginary line drawn from west to east on each degree, on the map it is 189, as the pole, both North Pole and South Pole, expanded in form of line, in form of line. Okay. Pole expanded in form of line. Is it fine? These lines are called as parallel of latitude. Parallel of latitude. Why? Because distance between two consecutive latitudes. Distance between two consecutive latitude is how much? It is constant, and the average distance comes to be 111.32 किलोमीटर. 111.32 किलोमीटर आया कैसे बच्चे? आप जरा देखें. So this is 90 degree. This is the arc of the earth. It is a quarter. So entire periphery of the earth is more than 40,000 kilometer. 40,000 kilometer. So this represent 1/4 of this periphery. So obviously it is almost 10,000 kilometer. And once you divide 10,000 kilometer by 90, you will find this 111.32 kilometer. So this is the consecutive distance of each parallel of latitude, which is divided by 0, 1 degree north, 2 degree north, so on and so forth. So distance between two consecutive latitude is what? 111.32 kilometer. This is average distance. Average. And there is variation. Average distance. Especially this distance get increased in the polar region. In polar region, average distance between two parallel of latitude become 111.70 kilometer. So it is slightly increased. This slight increase is attributed to flatness at the pole. Flatness at the pole. As we all have this idea that Earth is a little bit flat at the pole. So the pole is flat. So once you see the equatorial diameter of the Earth, you will find that it happened to be 12,756 kilometers. While the polar diameter is 12,714 kilometers. So there is a difference of almost 42 kilometers in diameter. Or you can say 21 kilometers in radius. Okay. That means at equator, there is a slight bulge at equator, and this bulge is because of rotation. Slight bulge. Fine. And due to flatness at pole, the distance between two consecutive latitude has been increased by almost 380 meter. This is the correction you will find over there. Is comparing this 111.7 and 111.320 kilometer. So there is a difference of 380 meter to 400 meter. It is because of the flatness of the pole. Suppose that we are at pole, we want to move at pole, and this is what? 89 degree. Suppose that this is 89 degree. 89 degree. north. So you have to cover a distance, that is the curved distance. Apart from it, you have to cover a flat distance in order to reach this North Pole. Okay. And due to this flatness, you will find there is a slight increase and two consecutive latitude in polar region. Polar region is what? At average distance of 111.7 kilometers. So this distance has been increased by 380 meters, and that is due to the flatness at the pole. Flatness at the pole. Fine. Parallel of latitude. Why they are called as parallel, I have discussed. There is a variation. So in the polar region, you will find that it is slightly increased. The distance slightly increased. Latitude. So there are some prominent latitude. And they are as follows. You all have this idea. There is a latitude. We know that this is what? Equator. This is equator. And then there is a latitude that is 23.5 degrees north, which we call Tropic of Cancer. Tropic of Cancer. And there is 23.5 degrees south, which is called as Tropic of Capricorn. Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn. Then there is a 66.5 degree north. That is called as Arctic Circle. And similarly, Antarctic Circle, 66.5 degrees south. Antarctic. And there will be North Pole, and here it is South. Okay. So these are some prominent latitude. And these latitude were drawn. Means अगर आपके मन में ये आना चाहिए कि why the latitude has 23.5, 66.5, 23.5 north and south, then 66.5 north and south. Why not it is 25 and 65? There will be better to count it. Na? Calculation में आराम रहता. So why these 23.5 and 66.5 has been taken as a reference point? It is just because of the tilt. You all have this idea that Earth is tilted by 23.5 degrees from its vertical axis. This is the vertical axis. And the tilt is 23.5 degrees from its vertical axis. This 23.5 degree tilt is responsible for sun rays transiting between Tropic of Cancer, between Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn. Tropic of Capricorn. Although these latitudes were created by human being, but these reference were created by nature. So sun rays are transiting between Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn. They never go vertical beyond Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. That's why 23.5 degree, 23.5 degree north and 23.5 degree south is the reference point. Why 66.5 degree? So if you see the circle of illumination, that is also transiting between 66.5 degree. Circle of illumination is like this. You have seen it already. This is going to be circle of illumination. The maximum transition of circle of illumination is up to 66.5 degree north and 66.5 degree south. This is the transition of circle of illumination. So circle of illumination marks the 66.5 degree, and it is because of the tilt. That's why these reference point, although accepted by human being, but created by nature, isn't it? So in order to have the sync with the calculation as well as a reference point created by nature, we accepted it. Okay, fine. Let's have this important meridian, parallel of latitude, and that is what equator, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, Arctic Circle, and Antarctic Circle. Fine. So what is the use of latitude? Latitude, first use is that we divide the earth into different zones, So on the very basis of latitude, we can divide the earth in different zones. What are those zones? Yeah, you can see it very easily. There is a zone like we have a torrid zone. So here it is torrid zone. 0 to 23 half north, 23 half south. This is torrid zone. Between 23 half north to 66 and half north. This is temperate zone. Here also we have temperate. This is torrid zone. Torrid zone is what? A zone where the sun rays remain vertical throughout the year. Hence, remain vertical throughout the year. Hence, these are hot zones. Sun rays are vertical. While this temperate zone between 23.5 to 66.5, you will find fluctuation, seasonal variation over here. Although seasonal variation in tropical region can also be seen, seasonal variation are more prominent in temperate zone. Temperate means that is what meant for variation. Okay. Then there is a frigid zone. Frigid zone throughout the year, it remains cooler. Cooler zone, cooled zone, that is also referred as polar zone. Okay. So first thing that we divide the earth into different heat zone on the very basis of these latitude, and they are as follow. So here also we have polar zone or frigid zone between Antarctic Circle to South Pole. Apart from it, we also use this latitude along with longitude. Latitude plus longitude, we use it as a coordinate of location. Coordinate of location. How coordinate? So there is a west to east latitude, let's say 24 degree north, and there is 92 degree east. So the intersection point is representing certain location. This is what the meaning of coordinate. And do remember this location is approximate. Location is approximate, not exact. Not exact. Okay. So you require a calibration. Calibration in location. In location. Because the map is the projection of the globe. So map, which is a two-dimensional map, is a projection of a globe, and in that case, in two-dimension map, the distance get extended. Distance get extended. Okay, especially in polar region, you'll find that extended map can be seen on the globe, isn't it? So in two dimension, due to extended distance, we have to calibrate it. And in general, there is a difference of 300 meter to 400 meter. Difference is there. In position. In position, that is what real position, exact position. Exact position and location. Okay. So latitude और longitude का जो coordinate होता है वो exact location नहीं दे. अब आप कहोगे सर, तो हम ड्रोन से कैसे हमला कर लेते हैं, हम मिसाइल कैसे बैठे बैठे बटन दबा देते हैं? तो वहां पे पोजीशनिंग होती है बच्चे, पोजीशनिंग बाय यूजिंग सैटेलाइट. पोजीशनिंग बाय यूजिंग सैटेलाइट. Using satellite, it is not depending over the map, rather there is a process of triangulation which is done with the help of satellite. In GPS or in positioning system, or you can say GPS, we require at least three satellite to confirm location. And one satellite, three satellite to confirm location, and one satellite to estimate three-dimensional size. इसका मतलब है बच्चे, तीन सैटेलाइट से आपने ये पोजीशन आइडेंटिफाई की. अब यहाँ पे जो बिल्डिंग है उसकी ऊंचाई कितनी है? 40 मीटर है, 30 मीटर है ना? चौड़ाई कितनी है, मोटाई कितनी है? इसकी जानकारी के लिए आपको एक चौथा सैटेलाइट यूज करना पड़ेगा. And there is a process of triangulation. So let me explain what is triangulation. So if you ask something that the point A from a satellite कि भाई सैटेलाइट मुझे बताओ ये पॉइंट A तुमसे कितना दूर है, तो सैटेलाइट कहेगा कि ये मुझसे 36,000 किलोमीटर दूर है. आप कहोगे अच्छा बताओ तो फिर कहाँ है कार? 36,000 किलोमीटर के रेडियस से आपको एक सर्किल खींचना है, और इस सर्किल पे ये पॉइंट ए कहीं भी हो सकता है. ये सैटेलाइट 1 है, S1. तो आप तो पागल हो जाओगे. तो आप कहोगे भाई ऐसा क्या है, कैसे बताऊं मैं, या कहाँ ढूंढे, ये तो सही लोकेशन नहीं है. देन यू आस्क अनदर सैटेलाइट. अगला सैटेलाइट कहेगा कि ये मेरे से लेट्स से 35,000 किलोमीटर दूर है ना. तो कहेगा अच्छा 35, तो कहेगा हाँ आपको क्या करना होगा, 35,000 के रेडियस से यू जस्ट ड्रॉ अ सर्कल एंड देन फाइंड इट आउट। कहीं भी हो सकता है। फिर आप कहोगे यार ये तो गलत बात है, ऐसे तो एग्जैक्ट लोकेशन हमें मिलेगा नहीं। तो ये सैटेलाइट कहेगा अच्छा जहां पे दोनों सर्किल इंटरसेक्ट कर रहे हैं वही पोजीशन हो सकती है ना। both the circle are intersecting, that can be a position, so we have position 1 and position 2। फिर आपने तीसरे सैटेलाइट से पूछा तो उसने कहा कि मेरे से ये लेट से 29,000 किलोमीटर दूर है। इसने भी वही बात कही कि एक सर्किल आपको खींचनी पड़ेगी और ये सर्किल पे कहीं भी हो सकता है। फिर आपने बताया सैटेलाइट 1 सैटेलाइट 2 ने बताया है कि इंटरसेक्शन पे होगा क्या, तो देख लीजिए मेरी सर्किल कहाँ काट रही है। So when all the three circle are cutting together, this is the real location, not location, it's a position। अब इसी लोकेशन पे आप चौथे सैटेलाइट से पूछोगे कि देखो ये जिसको देख रहे हैं उसका 3 डायमेंशनल स्ट्रक्चर क्या है, तो वो बता देता है कि ये 40 मीटर ऊपर है, 5 माले की बिल्डिंग है या समथिंग लाइक। सो वी आर यूजिंग 4 सैटेलाइट and 4 satellite will give you location, and this location is going to be precise। this location is not approximate, it is position। समझ गए। सो पोजीशनिंग में क्या करते हैं बच्चे आप, सैटेलाइट से ट्राई एंगुलेशन या ट्राई लेटरेशन, इट इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज ट्राई लेटरेशन, ट्राई लेटरेशन, जिससे आप एग्जैक्ट पोजीशन बताते हो। एंड मिलिट्री ग्रेड पोजीशनिंग जो भारत का नाविक है IRNSS, इंडियाज रीजनल नेविगेशन सैटेलाइट सिस्टम, इसकी जो मिलिट्री ग्रेड पोजीशनिंग है वो 20 सेंटीमीटर के रेजोल्यूशन की है। 20 सेंटीमीटर का रेजोल्यूशन। आप इमेजिन करें अभी आपने नूर खां बेस को डिस्ट्रॉय किया है भारत ने, तो उसमें जो बेस था काफी अंदर, कंक्रीट के दीवार के अंदर बनाया गया था, और जो ब्रह्मोस गई है वो 45 × 45 सेंटीमीटर के एसी वेंट के थ्रू गई है। यानी नूर खान बेस पे जो एसी वेंट था वो 45 × 45 सेंटीमीटर का था। इसके अंदर ब्रह्मोस को स्ट्राइक करने की कैपेबिलिटी जो हमारे पास है, दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ IRNSS। तो अगर ये प्रिसाइज पोजीशनिंग नहीं होता बच्चे तो हम लोग क्या मार पाते, उत्तर है नहीं। एंड दिस प्रिसाइज पोजीशनिंग आर GPS, वी आर टेकिंग इट फ्रॉम सैटेलाइट। ओके, बट व्हाट अबाउट द लोकेशन ऑन द मैप, इट इज द coordinate of latitude and longitude, coordinate of latitude and longitude। Is it okay? So there is a difference between positioning and location. Location is little bit different. It is not exact, it is approximate. Okay, so this is how it is। So we have covered latitude, then we have longitude, longitude। Okay, so again it is an imaginary line. How it was drawn, let me explain this। We all have this idea that Earth rotates on its tilted axis, and in 24 hours it complete one rotation, and one rotation is of 360 degree, 360 degree। So in 1 hour, how many degree can be rotated? 360 divided by 24, it comes to be 15 degree। So Earth rotates by 15 degree in 1 hour, and 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes also। That means Earth rotates by 15 degree in 60 minutes। So how much time it will take to rotate 1 degree? So 1 degree rotation is completed within 4 minutes. 4 minutes. For calculation purpose, remember this. 1 degree rotation is equal to 4 minutes. Now what happened? This Earth has equator, and this equator was divided into 360 equal parts. 360 equal parts. Each degree 360 equal parts. Then what happened? From North Pole to South Pole. Meeting the equator, lines were drawn from North Pole to South Pole. From North Pole to South Pole. Meeting each degree at equator, these lines were drawn. And this is what we know as longitude. So it is not so good in drawing over here. But do remember, this is South Pole, here it is North Pole. And at equator, each degree is what separated, representing 1 degree angular distance. And each degree at equator is joined by North Pole and South Pole. And hence there are 360 meridian of longitude on the globe. Meridian of longitude on the globe. 360 meridian of longitude on the globe. But once you want to make this globe into map, so obviously at any meridian, you just cut this globe and you will spread it as a map. Fine. So there are 360 plus 1, that means 361 meridian of longitude on map. Each degree represents 4-minute time difference in the local time. Okay. As you know, sun rises in the east as Earth is rotating from west to east. So there is a sunrise in the east. Okay. And each degree is equal to 4 minutes. So there is a difference of 4-minute local time in each degree. And this meridian of longitude used to calculate the local time as well as the standard time. Because we all have this idea that Earth is rotating and half of the area is under light and half of the area is under dark. So here it is light, that means there will be day, and this is dark, there will be night. And when the colonies of the Europe were prevalent in the world, European were of the opinion that there should be standardization of time, standard time, as they were spread panward and they have to use daylight in their economic activity. Economic activity. Economic activity in the daylight. ठीक है बच्चे? Daylight के समय में economic activity हो सकती है, administration हो सकता है, क्योंकि बात पुरानी है. 19वीं शताब्दी की शुरुआत है, कॉलोनियल स्प्रेड हो रहा है और दिन के समय में इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी और एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इफेक्टिव हो सकता है, रात के समय में करना होगा तो यू हैव टू यूज एनर्जी. दैट्स व्हाई डे लाइट वाज indispensable in economic activity, production, as well as administration. And we all have this idea that the local time is going to be changed. So there is a difference in the local time. Local time. Basically, what is the meaning of local time? Local time decided by the position of the sun in the sky. Position of the sun in the sky. Position of the sun, not sun rays. Do remember, position of the sun in the sky. What does it mean? If there is a sunrise, certainly there is a morning. If there is a vertical sun above head, which is also called as above head, this is characterized by noon and sunset. Sunset marks the night, evening followed by night. So this is what local time, which is decided by the sunrise and sunset. And you know, local time on the earth varies. Means Eastern Hemisphere are having early time. Eastern Hemisphere. Okay. Eastern Hemisphere. This is Eastern Hemisphere. Earth rotate from west to east. Here it is Eastern Hemisphere. This is Western Hemisphere. So Eastern Hemisphere is always ahead. Sunrise takes place over here. So there is a difference in the local time. And the local time differs by 4 minutes on each degree. 4 minute local time difference. On each meridian of longitude. On each meridian of longitude, there is a difference of 4 minutes on each meridian of longitude. What does it mean? So this is a 2 consecutive meridian of longitude. And you know this 2 consecutive meridian longitude. At equator, there is a maximum distance that happened to 111.32 kilometers. But as you move towards pole, the distance is going to be reduced at pole, North Pole and South Pole. Both the meridian of longitude merge. Suppose that this is 2 degree east meridian of longitude. This is 1 degree east meridian of longitude. If sunrise takes place at 2 degree meridian of longitude early in the morning 5 a.m. So local time when sunrise takes place at 1 degree east meridian of longitude is 5:04 a.m. So there is a difference of 1 minute of local time between 2 consecutive meridian of longitude. Is it okay? So 4 minute local time difference on each meridian of longitude. So a country which is having east-west extent, like for India. So India, the western part is what? Guharmoti. Guharmoti in Gujarat. And the easternmost point is what? Kibithu. Kibithu, which is in Arunachal Pradesh, a village of Arunachal Pradesh, is separated almost by 2 hours. 2 hours. That means local time of Kibithu. Suppose that there is a sunrise in Kibithu, and that is taking place as 4:30 a.m. So the sunrise in Gujarat, Guharmoti, is taking place at 6:30 a.m. as the earth rotates from west to east. So there is a 2 hour difference in the local time. Okay. And there are many countries like Russia is there, China is there, Canada is there, USA is there, although China has single time zone, but USA, Canada has many time zone. France, although it is a small country, but there are 13 time zone in France as the overseas territory. Spread over entire globe, spread over entire globe. Overseas territory spread over entire globe. Okay, 13 times. USA has 6 times. Canada has 5 time zones. Russia has 11 time zones. Okay. Why? Because they have east-west extent. So there is a difference in local time. That's why it was decided that we will standardize this time, and standard time concept was introduced. Standard. And to calculate the standard time, there is a unanimous acceptance of a reference point. Reference point. So obviously, if you standardize the time, there must be some reference point. In order to accept this standard time concept, the reference point was decided in 1884 during Conference of Meridian. Conference of Meridian in Washington, D.C. United States of America. And it was unanimously accepted that 0 degree meridian of longitude is that meridian which is crossing through Royal Observatory, Old Royal Observatory at Greenwich, London, England. So the line, that meridian which is crossing through Royal Observatory at Greenwich, London, will be treated as 0 degree. And it is designated as GMT, that is Greenwich Mean Time. Greenwich Mean Time. And it was accepted. As prime meridian. Prime meridian. So it was accepted as prime meridian. Fine. GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. And due to that, the Earth was divided into 2 hemispheres. Another hemisphere, and that is what? This is GMT. And to the east, it is what? Eastern Hemisphere. And to the west, it is Western Hemisphere. Okay. The complementary meridian of GMT, which is going to create this great circle, is 180 degree. So just opposite to 0 degree, there was 180 degree. And when 180 degree has been designated as international dateline. And it was decided, IDL, it was decided that new day always open at international date line. International date line. So suppose that today is Friday, and today is 22nd of August. So this 22nd of August Friday happen for the first time on the earth at international date line for the first time. Okay. This is what international date line. Likewise, on the very basis of these reference points, the world was divided into 24 time zone, and further each country were allowed to have time zone. It may be more than one as per requirement, or maybe one time zone. Like India also decided the standard meridian, and in India since 1947, 82 and half east meridian of longitude is taken as standard meridian. Standard meridian. From here, the standard time of India has been taken. That's why it is also referred as Indian Standard Time. Indian Standard Time. Indian Standard. So India since 1947, this is what Indian Standard Time. And do remember this 82.5 degree east meridian of longitude. You might have seen that it is crossing through Allahabad, which is now Prayagraj. More precisely, it is east to Prayagraj. The place is Manda, Tehsil, which is almost 40 kilometers east to Prayagraj. So this is Manda, 40 kilometers east to Prayagraj, from where this 82.5 degree east meridian of longitude is crossing. In Uttar Pradesh, it's not like in each state, but yes, this 82.5 degree east meridian of longitude is crossing through Uttar Pradesh, through Madhya Pradesh, through Chhattisgarh, through Odisha, and Andhra Pradesh. But why so much famous city associated with 82.5 degree is Allahabad? At the time of British period, or you can say at initial time, Allahabad was not only the cantonment, there is a arsenal factory. It is also famous city as a confluence of Ganga Yamuna. And that's why, in order to recognize the reference point, 82.5 degree, the city of Allahabad associated with it. Otherwise, Kakinada is also there, isn't it? Korapat is also there. But why the Allahabad is what associated with it? Just because it was the recognized city at the time of British period. उनकी वहां पे सेना रहती थी, हवाई अड्डा भी बन रहा था बच्चे. So these things are taking shape. So at the time of India got freedom. So this is 82.5 degree east meridian of longitude. And if you calculate GMT and 82.5 east meridian of longitude, you will find there is a difference of 5 hours and 30 minutes. So we are ahead by 5 hours 30 minutes. So suppose that if there is, क्या टाइम हो रहा है बच्चे इस समय? So अगर भारत में समय हो रहा होगा 10 बज रहा होगा 10 PM, and what is the day today? Friday. So you'll find that in London there will be time which is what 5 hours 30 minutes back. तो 5 घंटे पहले 5 बजा होगा, 4:30 PM हो रहा होगा बच्चे, फ्राइडे की इवनिंग हो रही होगी, फ्राइडे इवनिंग, एंड वी आर इन फ्राइडे नाइट. तो हम लोग सोने वाले हैं, खाना खा चुके हैं, वो लोग चाय पी रहे होंगे. So there is a 5 hour 30 minute time, and there is ahead. We are ahead. So when you move towards east, you add the time. When you move towards west, you subtract the time. Is it okay? So do remember this. And let's talk about 180 degree. 180 degree, that is what international date line. Again, it's not a straight line. There are three prominent bends, not straight line. There are three bends. In order to incorporate, in order to incorporate, in order to incorporate respective territories in peculiar time zone. Let's find out those bends. So when you see this 180 degree, you'll find that there is a Chukchi Peninsula. Here it is, Kamchatka Peninsula. North Korea, South Korea, and left. So there is Malayan Peninsula. Here we have Alaska. There is Aleutian Island. They have Indonesia. This is Australia. Fine. So there is a bend. ये थोड़ा ज्यादा दूर तक दिखा दिया है, इतना दूर नहीं अलास्का और चुपची. This is the part of Russia. This is Kamchatka. This peninsula is called as Chukchi Peninsula. This peninsula is called as Kamchatka. Here it is Alaska Peninsula. And more important, there are two islands in the Bering Strait. One island belongs to Russia and another belongs to US. The Russian island was called as Great Diomede Island. Great Diomede Island. And this USA island is called as Little Diomede Island. Okay. And it is in Bering Strait. Fine. It is in Bering Strait. And this is 180 degree that is coming like this. So if you continue this 180 degree, so obviously this is the right path, straight path. But if you take this 180 degree like this part of Russia will fall in the Alaska time zone. That's why in order to separate this Chukchi Peninsula as well as Great Diomede and Little Diomede Island, it was separated like this. So there was a east bend, and it is just at 75 degree north, 75 degree north, in order to separate Great Diomede Island of Russia and Little Diomede Island of USA, in order to keep them their respective time zone. Basically, this is what Chukchi Peninsula, which is in Siberian time zone, and this is what Alaskan time zone. That's why it was a bend. And then there are many islands in Aleutian, and the eastern islands belongs to USA, and western islands belong to Russia. And one of the island of USA, that is what Unalaska. Let me show you Unalaska. This is Unalaska, which is very important island of USA. Unalaska. This is Unalaska. I'm just giving you the idea about Unalaska. Unalaska क्या है बच्चे? It's an important island of Aleutian Islander. And this is not merely an island, rather it is a US naval base. US naval base. And it is what called as Dutch Harbor. Dutch Harbor. So it is US naval base and it has to be in US time zone, but towards west. That's why there is a westward bend to keep it in Alaska time zone or Aleutian time zone. So this is what Unalaska, where you will find this Dutch harbor or naval base of United States of America. So there is a westward bend in order to separate Aleutian, and then it comes into the equatorial region, and then again there is a eastward bend to keep so many country of Oceania in a single time zone, as these were the colonies earlier. These were Oceania. There will be Polynesia, Melanesia, and Micronesia. These are what? Earlier colonies. So another eastward bend in the international dateline you will find over there in order to keep them in one time zone. They are the colonies of the earlier colonies of Europeans. They are doing plantation agriculture over here. And यहीं पे वो गिरमिटिया मजदूर आते थे बच्चे, और भारत से, अफ्रीका से यहाँ पे लोग लाए गए और यहाँ पे उन्होंने प्लांटेशन एग्रीकल्चर किया. And after 1960, these colonies got freedom and they become sovereign country. Sovereign country. So they become sovereign country. दूध तो नहीं लाए बच्चे, चाय लाए हो ना, फिर ठीक है. So they become sovereign country. Is it okay? And they kept on their time zone, similar time zone as it was in British period or European period. So they kept on the similar time zone. So you will find there is eastward bend in order to keep it one time zone. So there are countries like Tonga, Kiribati, Samoa, Vanuatu, Tuvalu, Solomon Island, Papua New Guinea, and n number of countries are there, which we will learn obviously when we discuss Oceania. In Polynesia, Melanesia, and Micronesia. So these are what the name which has been given, and these are the scattered island territory over there and kept in one time zone. That's why you will find there is eastward bend. So there is a eastward bend 1, then westward bend 2, and the third eastward bend will find. So 3 bends are there, 2 towards east and 1 towards west. Is it okay? ठीक है बच्चे. So this is what the situation at international dateline. Let me explain one thing more. At international dateline, new day always open. This is international dateline. Suppose that if you are here in the west of international dateline, if you are here and there is a time that is what Monday, and there is 10 p.m. So just here, if you stand over here and you watch here, you will find there is a difference of 24 hours. There is a difference of 24 hours. That means here it is Monday. So at 0 degree, there will be Monday, but what will be the time? The time will be 10 a.m. Okay. तो यहाँ रात मंडे की रात हो रही होगी तो जीएमटी पे क्या बज रहा होगा बच्चे? मंडे की सुबह हो रही होगी. और इससे जब 180 डिग्री और जाएंगे, यानी जब आप यहाँ आ जाएंगे तो ये मंडे 10 बज रहा है, तो 12 घंटे पहले क्या बज रहा होगा बताइए? If it is 10 a.m., so what will be the time over here? What is your take? So if it is 10 a.m. Monday, तो मंडे से 12 घंटे पहले 10 बजे से सुबह 10 बजे से पहले 12 घंटे पहले
संडे
संडे होगा. क्लियर हो गया बच्चे? और टाइम क्या होगा? 10
PM.
So 10 p.m. of Sunday. So there is a difference of 24 hour. 24 hour. अभी इसी समय अगर आप क्या करते हैं, ईस्ट से वेस्ट की ओर जाते हैं, है ना, ये इंटरनेशनल डेट लाइन है, तो यहाँ मंडे 10 बज रहा होगा और यहाँ चले गए तो क्या क्या बज रहा होगा बच्चे? संडे 10 p.m. तो एक दिन आप पीछे चले जाते हैं और यहाँ से इधर आते हैं तो एक दिन आप आगे चले जाते हैं. आर यू गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? This is the condition at any time at international dateline. But what if there is 12 at midnight? 12 at midnight at international dateline. Suppose that यहाँ नया दिन खुल गया है, 12 midnight को यहाँ पे खुल गया, मान लो मंडे खुला है, मंडे. सो जस्ट यहाँ पे कौन सा दिन होगा बच्चे? मिडनाइट मंडे है तो यहाँ पे संडे चल रहा होगा. संडे की रात का 11:59 और 59 हो रहा होगा. हो रहा होगा कि नहीं? सो जस्ट बिफोर द इंटरनेशनल डेट लाइन at 12 a.m. midnight. So there is opening of Monday. यहाँ पे मंडे ओपन हुआ है बच्चे. अभी पहला ही सेकंड मंडे का हुआ है और इसके ठीक पीछे संडे चल रहा है. अब यहाँ से 12 घंटे पहले क्या बज रहा होगा? 11:59 किसका है? ये पीएम है, दिस इज एएम एंड दिस इज संडे एएम, है ना बच्चे? संडे 11:59 और इससे 12 घंटे पहले, मतलब 180, दिस इज 90 डिग्री बिफोर. व्हाट विल बी द टाइम? This is 11:59 a.m. Here will be 11:59 p.m. But what will be the day? Day बताइए जरा. संडे की सुबह है, संडे की रात होगी, 12 बजे संडे खुला होगा, उससे ठीक पहले क्या होगा? This is the Saturday. Saturday. So for 1 second, you will find a new day. On entire globe, you will find yesterday. And for 1 second, you will find the day before yesterday. Day before yesterday. That means at midnight, at midnight there exist 3 days at international date line. Is it understandable or not? बताइए जी,
Yes, sir.
बाकी सबको समझ में आया कि नहीं?
Yes, sir.
आवाज में ताकत नहीं दिखाई पड़ रही। हर्षवर्धन ने कहा सर व्हाट अबाउट मिर्जापुर? आप कह सकते हैं बेटे, ये मिर्जापुर और इलाहाबाद मांडा जो तहसील है, इट इज क्लोज टू मिर्जापुर, है ना?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you are moving towards east, you'll coming towards Varanasi, there will be Mirzapur. So Manda is close to Mirzapur. Fine.
जी sir.
Shall we proceed? क्या टाइम हो गया? So चलिए कुछ टाइम कैलकुलेशन कर लेते हैं बच्चे। चाय तो मिल गई है मुझे, लेकिन चाय मजेदार नहीं है। आइए, so this is GMT, fine, and here it is 180 degree, and this is also 180 degree because 180 degree से ही आपने separate किया है. This is Eastern Hemisphere, and here it is Western Hemisphere. So if you are moving from east to west, west to east, so what happened? You will find that there is time that is ahead. Time is moving ahead, and here time is lagging behind. Okay, so Eastern Hemisphere, if you are moving towards Eastern Hemisphere, you add time, and moving towards Western Hemisphere, you subtract time, subtract. So this is how we calculate the time. Suppose that if I say to you at GMT, if there is 8 a.m. of, let's say, Sunday, what will be the time and date and day at 120 degree west? 120 degree west क्या होगा बच्चे? So 120 into 4 किया, 480 minutes आ गए ना? 480 minutes को डिवाइड कर लेते हैं हम किससे? 60 से। तो कितने घंटे आ गए बच्चे? 8 hours. So there is 8 a.m. of Sunday. तो 8 घंटे पहले क्या बजा रहा होगा? There will be 12 a.m. और चूंकि AM हो चुका है, that's why it is Sunday. लेकिन अगर कोई पूछ देता कि what will be the time at 121 degree west, 121 degree west, there will be 11:54 PM, and that is of Sunday से एक दिन पहले क्या होगा बच्चे? Saturday. ये समझ आ गया कि नहीं? So if you are moving towards west, you just subtract the time. So here GMT is what? 8 a.m. You are moving towards west for 120 degree. So you subtract the 8 hour, and there will be 12 a.m. And because it is 12 a.m. so we have Sunday. But इससे भी 1 डिग्री पहले यानी 121 वेस्ट के पास कितना टाइम होगा? तो 4 मिनट पहले और टाइम हो रहा होगा, तो 11:54 हुए होंगे। सॉरी, 11:56 हुए होंगे बच्चे, नॉट 54, यहाँ गलत लिख दिया है। 11:56, and the day will be one day before Sunday, and that is Saturday. ये कर लिया कि नहीं आपने? Can you calculate the time?
यस सर कर लिया.
Yes, sir.
एक बार ईस्ट में भी चल के देख लेते हैं बच्चे. सो जीएमटी पे अगर सुबह के 10 बज रहे हो, 10 PM, सॉरी रात के ही 10 बज रहे हो, चलो 10 PM, and there is a day Monday. What will be the time and date in India? Time and day in India. So India, you all have this idea that India is at 82.5 degree east meridian of longitude. So 5 hour 30 minute ahead. So adding 5 hour, कितने बज गए बच्चे? 3 बजे ना?
3:30 AM.
3 और 30 मिनट और जोड़ दो, तो देयर विल बी 3:30 AM लिखा जाए. बोलो.
Yes, sir.
PM. हाँ हाँ, बताइए बताइए बताइए. PM लिखा जाए.
AM.
10 बजे में जब 5 घंटे 30 मिनट जोड़ोगे, तो 10 बजे के बाद 5 घंटे 30 मिनट क्या बज रहा होगा? 3:30 AM. मंडे बदल चुका होगा.
ट्यूसडे.
ये किसका किसका सही हुआ, किसको नहीं आ रहा है तो फिर समझाऊं मैं. सो यू आर मूविंग ईस्ट टुवर्ड्स GMT, सो यू ऐड द टाइम. ऐड करोगे तो अभी मान लो इंडिया में अभी 10 बज रहा है. अभी आपने 5 घंटे 30 मिनट ऐड करके टाइम देखना हो तो क्या बज रहा होगा? 3:30 AM हो रहा होगा. तो 10 के बाद 12 बजे होंगे, तो मंडे चेंज हो चुका होगा ना. ट्यूसडे में 12 के आगे बज रहे हैं 3:30, तो ये ट्यूसडे का टाइम होगा ना बच्चे. बोलो. आज नहीं आ रही. हेलो, am I audible?
यस सर ऑडिबल.
अच्छा, आप लोग मैसेज कर रहे हैं, मैसेज में देख नहीं पा रहा. ओके. किसी को कंफ्यूजन तो नहीं? तो इना बताइए आप. आर यू एबल टू कैलकुलेट?
Yes, sir.
कोई यहाँ जिसको ना समझ में आ रहा हो बच्चे तो बताइए. सुधांशु, आप बोलते नहीं है, क्या बात है? नाराज है क्या? सिकुन, आज कुछ कम लोग आए हैं क्या? बाकी लोग कहाँ रह गए? समाधान, चीजें ठीक हैं? गुड. ओके.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So this is how we calculate the time, and in this way we have completed this latitude and longitude. Yes, there is a question always asked, and that is India has single time zone. India has single time zone. Single time zone. And there is a long-lasting demand from eastern part of India that there should be division of the India should be divided into 2 time zones. India should be divided into 2 time zones. Although this demand was discarded by Government of India, but what is your take? Your take on this particular matter. So, मुझे लिख के दिखाइए 300 words में. Should India be divided into more than one time zone? If yes, then why yes? If no, then why no? Okay. And if you consider after the critical evaluation, okay, fine, there are yes and there are no, but what is judicious? Then tell me your opinion too. you can take help of net, internet, think over it and think about the perspective, today's perspective, and also think about the points which has been mentioned on the internet. I know those points. You just go and see and research and then send me 300 words of your answer. So this is homework, and try to send it by 2 p.m. tomorrow so that I can check it, क्योंकि शाम को फिर क्लास रहती है. तो अगर 2 बजे तक आप भेज दे तो टेलीग्राम पे, और टेलीग्राम पे पीडीएफ बना के भेजना ताकि मैं देख सकूं आप क्या सोच पाए. तो आज आधे घंटे 1 घंटे आप जरा इंटरनेट पे देखिएगा. मैं कुछ बोल नहीं रहा. I'm just want to compile your points, and then tomorrow we will discuss, should India be divided into more than one time zone? Is it justified? Okay. तो कल इसको हम लोग देखेंगे. So this is all about latitude, longitude, time zone, local time, standard time, as well as time calculation. So we have covered rotation, revolution, latitude, longitude, and the basics of astronomy. So from tomorrow we will start with the syllabus of geomorphology with the interior of the earth and all that. Fine. So आज यही रुकते हैं. कल क्लास होगी. संडे को क्लास हम लोग नहीं रखेंगे, या मैं कल बता दूंगा कि वी आर मीटिंग ऑन संडे आर नॉट. खाली रहूंगा तो संडे को कर लेंगे. अगर मान लीजिए कोई व्यस्तता रही तो आई लेट यू. ठीक है.
Yes, sir.
Shall I
Yes, sir.
say out? Yeah, is there any query from your side?
Sir, can you please share the video with me?
क्या कह रहे हैं आप?
Sir, इस वीडियो का लिंक शेयर कर देंगे तो अच्छा हो.
शेयर दिस
Class.
क्लास नोट्स.
क्लास लिंक. यस सर, क्लास लिंक.
तो हाँ कर दूंगा. पिछली बार वाला किया तो था. मैं ब्राउज कर दूंगा.
ओके सर.
ओके. ओके. टेक केयर. बाय. गुड नाइट.
सर
हाँ बेटे.
सर मैंने पहले के कुछ क्लास तबीयत खराब की वजह से नहीं किया था, तो उसका मतलब आप कौन से ग्रुप में वो नोट्स वगैरह दे रहे हैं वो मुझे जान नहीं पा रहे हैं, इसलिए थोड़ा.
आप अभी ज्वाइन नहीं की हैं क्या ग्रुप बेटे?
नहीं सर, कुछ नए ग्रुप ऐड नहीं हुआ है.
आज पहली दिन आई हैं आप?
नहीं सर, पिछले वाले क्लासेस किए हैं, लेकिन
हाँ हाँ.
जो पहले 2 क्लासेस 2 या 3 क्लास में नहीं किया था.
तो वो आप आ जाइएगा. एक टेलीग्राम चैनल है बेटे. आप अपने नंबर से मेरे नंबर पे मैसेज कर दीजिए. आई विल सेंड द कॉपी. और टेलीग्राम इस पर भी तो भेज सकता हूँ मैं. एक मिनट. या आप मेरा नंबर पता है आपको?
नहीं सर,
आप
टेलीग्राम चैनल
ये
पर
नहीं है क्या?
उससे तो लिंक मिल रहा है.
72273636. अपना डिटेल भेज दीजिए इस पे, और मैं आपको कॉपी वो लिंक भेज दूंगा. आप ज्वाइन कर लीजिएगा टेलीग्राम. ठीक है.
ओके
और
सर,
वहां
थैंक
से
यू.
आपको क्लासेस भी मिल जाएंगी. पुरानी 1-2 क्लासेस आपको चाहिए तो. और कुछ दिन में सारी क्लासेस रेगुलर हो जाएंगी. अभी थोड़ा सा समय कम है, इसलिए शुरुआत धीरे धीरे. और अपने दोस्तों को भी बताइए जो बच्चे चाहते हैं ज्योग्राफी करना. तो अभी देखें बेसिक्स चल रहे हैं, फिर उसके बाद क्लासेस शुरू हो जाएंगी. तो जो लोग चाहते हैं करना उनको आप लोग कहें. आप लोग चाहें तो उनसे जो वीडियोस मैंने आपके साथ शेयर किए हैं उसको शेयर कर सकते हैं, वो बच्चे जो पढ़ना चाहते हैं. समाधान आप भी, आपके साथ भी बहुत सारे बच्चे हैं जो महाराष्ट्र के जो करना चाहते हैं, जो इस ग्रुप में हैं या फिर नहीं है, वो पर्सनल भी मुझसे कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं. सो फुल फ्लेज.
ठीक है सर.
हाँ. आप ये वीडियो, आप जो ओरिएंटेशन क्लास है उनको शेयर करके, आप चूंकि आप देख रहे हैं यहाँ का माहौल कैसा है, कि पर्सनली यू कैन आस्क क्वेश्चन. दीज थिंग्स आर नॉट अवेलेबल एवरीवेयर, and this is my pace, and this is how I move, by ensuring that understanding should be made. तो हम लोग आगे चलेंगे and we will go for means answer writing and all that. तो धीरे धीरे वो सारी चीजें लेके आएंगे हम लोग। तो अगर जिन बच्चों को पढ़ना हो तो वो लोग ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं, ठीक है। सो थैंक यू वेरी मच,
ठीक है।
वी विल मीट टुमारो, थैंक यू।